Arizona, USC. Does that sound like a game for the Pac-12 South Division lead? Well, it is, whether it does or not. I've been searching my brain looking for Cinderella teams across college football, and I've come up with the two biggest being Iowa State and Arizona, who is now snuck into the college football playoff rankings at number 22. Shireen Ryan joins us from the Zona Zealots platform on Fansided to talk her beloved Wildcats. Shireen, how you doing?
I'm great. We're ranked. We're bowl eligible. We're riding on this big wave. We don't have that many injuries. The players arrived at the Coliseum, and they're real excited about it.
Yeah, so this has been – these are two teams coming at this game in two completely opposite directions. USC has the same record as Arizona, but they were expected to be vying for a college football playoff, and that's pretty much out the window. They got blown out by Notre Dame a couple weeks ago by 35 points. It's a disappointment right now at USC to be 6-2 and ranked. They're somewhere around 15 or 18, somewhere in that range. Yeah, 17 sounds about right. Where Arizona, coming off 1-8 in the Pac-12 and 3-9 last year, nothing expected of this team, playing for the division lead. This is great.
Yeah, Rich Rodriguez used to come into press conferences, with his hands, like this, and, okay, come at me. I'm ready, And now he just sits there and goes, it's a great day to be an Arizona Wildcat. It's totally different. So, yeah, he's really enjoying talking about his team and their grittiness and how in tune they are and how much they love football. And I tell you, when I listen to the players, they're always talking about team. You get the quarterback up there, Khalil Tate, all he's talking about is who made the blocks, who helped him get ahead, it's all about the team. It's not a me team. And their chemistry is very, very, very tight. They're very tight. They're all young. They're all of the same kind of mental thought. They all listen to the same music. There's 61 freshmen, redshirt and others. So it's a fun time.
Shireen and I enjoyed a conversation after the Washington State game last week. So check out that instant analysis because it was quite a game for the offense and the defense and the special teams against Washington State, a team that was a slight favorite in that game, a team that was top 15 in the country, and Arizona not enjoying these kind of wins in recent years since the 2014 team made a trip to the Pac-12 championship game, and now they are knocking off Washington State and have a shot at USC as an 8-point underdog at the Coliseum.
Yeah, I listened to all the gurus, the talking heads this morning, and all they did was gush about Khalil Tate. Then they turned around and said, but I have to take USC at home.
You do understand that, right?
I get it. We're still thinking Sam Darnold's a Heisman Trophy winner, and but some people are saying he should come back next season. But they're listening to all these people when they talk about Arizona's quarterback, like they're giddy. People are like, if you haven't seen this, you have to stay up. Well, this weekend you're going to have to stay up because if you live on the East Coast, the game's starting at 10:45 p.m. So
well,
have fun with that, Mark.
Are on the East Coast, so they're going to have to stay up.
Yeah, but I'll bring you if you follow at Sports Crazy with 2 E's and at Zona Zealots, you can get some live feed from the booth. I'll be working the game at the IMG Sports Network, and hopefully we'll be doing a lot of 10-5 touchdown Khalil Tate type things and dancing in the booth. That would be fun.
Well, you brought up Khalil versus Sam Darnold. They're just two completely different players coming at it from two different places here. So Khalil Tate, this is just a fun story. It's a good story. It's about a kid who has gotten his chance. We don't like to see players get injured, but it happens in football. He has taken that opportunity and, sorry, pardon the pun, run with it. And he's just taken off. And Sam Darnold is just a great NFL prospect.
Right.
And they're just different kind of quarterbacks. Khalil Tate's going to beat you with his legs, although he's passing extremely well, somewhere around 68%. So he's doing the job with his arm as well. Sam Darnold's a classic pocket passer that can move around, but not like Khalil Tate. And he has NFL scouts salivating. That doesn't matter It doesn't matter how many interceptions he throws.
Oh, it doesn't?
That's somewhat concerning, the decision making that Sam Darnold's showing, but that's not completely going to trash his NFL stock. He's still going to be a very, very high draft pick if he so chooses to come out.
Well, I spent some time with Sam at the Pac-12 Media Day. He is like the ultimate football player, you know, like Newt, or, you know, just come up with a football name. That's Sam Darnold. Like he looks the part, he acts the part, he's big, he's confident, he's laser focused. But we've been doing really well against pocket passers, if you haven't realized that. Falk, is that his first name? No, not
Luke
Marshall.
Falk.
Luke Falk, he wasn't doing so hot against Arizona. They put in Helsinki, and then he started running the ball, and then he got 2 rushing touchdowns at quarterback. So
Josh Rosen,
yeah, I mean, pocket passers is not working. So also USC, we noticed has some key injuries, a lot more injuries than Arizona. So maybe that gives Arizona a little more shot. But don't forget, Khalil is from Inglewood. Inglewood is maybe 10 minutes from USC, and he has former high school teammates on the team. So he also, I don't want to, we don't like to say revenge, but he needs a redemption game, because the last time he saw USC, he was the 3rd youngest quarterback to ever start an NCAA game at home in the heat. And he scored the first rushing touchdown, but then we lost that game. So the redemption is big time here. And I remember 2 years ago when we came, Arizona rises to the occasion with USC. I think if it wasn't for one of the defensive misses, we could have been in that game 2 years ago. Juju Smith-Schuster killed us, but we were like 1 defensive or 2 defensive plays away. I think there was a pick 6 in that game, but we held our own through the 3rd quarter. So they rise to the occasion. If there's 90,000 people, and they've been a road team, Arizona's won on the road.
So I think the big USC injuries in particular, Porter Gustin's one of the best in the business in the Pac-12. He's an all-conference performer, a fringe all-American performer. He's definitely out with a toe injury. Josh Fallow, tight end, Pac-12 performer as well. He's out for this one. Iman Marshall, Big E Marshall, plays cornerback for USC. He's one of the top recruits in college football going back a couple years. Has had a stellar career at USC. He's questionable. Then you got Josh Fatu, who is one of the best nose tackles out there in the Pac-12, and he is questionable for this game, as well as Stephen Carr, who's a little banged up with a foot injury. So USC, both these teams have their share of injuries, but for USC, I know that we're talking about, and along with Christian Rector, defensive lineman, who's an exceptional player, we're talking about some of their top talent.
Yeah, and on the Arizona side, it looks like Trevor Wood, tight end, is probable, and Nick Wilson is probable. That means we have Zach, we have Zach, we have J.J. Taylor, and we have Nick Wilson as running backs, along with Khalil, who I think has rushed for more than 100 yards in 4 straight games. He also was the Pac-12 Player of the Week 4 straight weeks in a row. It's never been done before. I think he has 14 total touchdowns, 6 passing, 8 rushing. But his targets are all there. All his wide receivers are healthy. All of his tight ends are healthy, and he's been passing to tight ends. His running backs are healthy, so if one goes down, the next one comes in. Nick Wilson is back, and it's going to be fun. If there's any year they can beat USC, this is going to be the year, I think. I think USC is going to be a little nervous about this. I was listening to Coach Helton talk about Khalil, and he said whoever's going to he actually, after Khalil had committed, Coach Helton had gone back to see if he could flip Khalil, and it didn't work. But he basically said that he's going to be a hard guy. He's going to kick our butt, or, it's going to be a hard guy to cover. But he was very complimentary on the coach's call this week.
I have yet to make my predictions for this game and any of the games from this week, but I always do and release that right here on YouTube. So I have yet to make a selection, and maybe I won't be telling you who I'm picking. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm picking USC.
Well, everybody's picking
like
USC. They're at home. They got angry fans. I don't know if you've ever talked to their fans, but
I would not be factoring in the fan quotient into my projection of the game.
Well,
it's more about the USC. Right? It's more about the USC talent than it is about anything else.
Well, they do have about 80,000 people in that stadium, 82 to 90, whereas we had 42, 43,000 in our stadium. So, but let's just point out that Arizona travels well this season. It doesn't matter where they play. I guess in Colorado, people are calling them names, and Khalil just lets it all just slide out. He is like ice in your veins type quarterback, and nothing phases that kid.
Okay, so you're feeling good about this one.
I feel like they're going to rise to the occasion. If they do lose, I don't think it's going to be by. I think you give the points and either take USC. But you give the points, like just don't even, just straight up. But I have high hopes. I think it'll be a surprise. I truly, if we can contain Darnold in the first half, he may lose a little confidence.
So anybody traveling from Arizona, and I don't know if I have my logistics quite correct, but anybody traveling from Arizona to the LA Coliseum, stop off in Vegas and take Arizona plus 8 points.
Right. Exactly. I mean, they've scored over 30 points or more in every game. Is it something like that? Like their offense is great, but the defense has also allowed a lot of points. But take this into consideration. Just when you thought the defense in the game against Washington State was on the field for 101 plays. That's double what the Washington State team was on the field for, because Arizona was scoring in 1 or 2 plays, and they had scored. So we had our defense was winded, yet we still had a interception for a touchdown, a pick 6 by a linebacker.
All right, we've got Shireen Ryan from Zona Zealots talking up the Cats. They're 6-2. They're 4-1 in the conference. They're playing for the South Division lead against USC at the Coliseum. This, for whatever team wins this game, if they take care of business, they definitely have a huge leg up in the conference standings and trip to the Pac-12 championship game, a game that obviously the Wildcats went to just a few years ago. It seems like forever, but it was just a few years ago in 2014. We won't go into the results of that game, just that they made it to the Pac-12 championship game. Oregon was pretty stout at that point. Shireen's favorite other program.
Oh, can't wait to play Oregon.
So I can't wait for this one. I got to see. I've seen Khalil Tate on the highlights, but I want to see him play after play after play after play. Play the entire game. And the Pac-12 network has given up on Arizona football. They've elevated now to ESPN. So we get to see Arizona football across the country. There's no excuse not to see him play the late game on Saturday night. Late for us in the East, and really late for everyone because it's the last game of the night.
8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock on the West Coast. So,
perfect.
Right. But, a lot of people don't get the Pac-12 because they have direct. So now all the Wildcat fans can.
That's me. See, if I lived on the West Coast, for the times that I've been out there, I would have to get used to getting up before 9 o'clock in the morning to catch my noon Eastern time games that I have to watch.
That's true.
It's a whole different deal. You go out late, but you got to get up early in the morning if you're a college football nut like me that wants to see Minnesota and Purdue play at noon, that kind of thing.
This will be a great weekend. It'll be fun, and I'll try to do as much live as I can.
Yeah, so catch Shireen right there. Sports Crazy, double E at the end with Zona Zealots as well.
Yep.
Thanks, Shireen.
All right. Go Cats. Bear down.